A pup named Scooby-Doo has some of the most iconic and creative monsters in the franchise, but also some of the goofiest. But which one do I think is the best? Alright, we're back with another monster ranking. This time we're doing a pup named Scooby-Doo. Initially, I wasn't going to do this one, but then I remembered a lot of these are kind of cool actually. Now, bold start, but the first one's not even technically a villain. Like, he's a bully, yeah. He's an antagonist, but not necessarily a villain. But Red Herring is a pretty good character. I love that his whole shtick is just to rage bait Fred, and it works every time. Design-wise, he's fine, he's just a kid. But he does have one of those press-on fake tattoos that you get from beside the candy machines, which, that's pretty fun. Alright, now for the first actual monster. We've got the green glob from the very first episode. I don't actually know what the name of this one is. Okay, just checked. It's just called Ghost, so sure. It's just a glob monster, honestly. Nothing special about it. Same probably goes for this one that was Red Herring's little practical joke, but a little bit better because it's purple. Actually, you know what? Yeah, one tier better because it is purple. All right, looks like we're kind of going in chronological order here, so that kind of makes it a little easier for me. Sludge monster from the Earth's core. It's an interesting alien type design, not necessarily my favorite. Kind of looks like a product you would get if you took one of those generators that's like, oh, take half of this animal, a quarter of this one, and another one of this one. During the chase though, I do like that they had to wipe their feet. One of the most fun moments in the series. I think for now, B tier is probably fine. We got the purple people eaters going on. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. Dr. Croaker. Love him. I think such a fun design. No real reason that he needs to be a frog or a doctor, but he just is. Shame about the jaundice though, you could probably get that checked out. The only thing that's keeping him from the S tier is when he took Fred's clothes off. Like, I don't think we need to be doing all that. All right, then we've got the cheese monster. Always looked to me like it was made entirely out of the Kraft mac and cheese dust if you made it into like a paste. I don't know, do with that information what you will. But yeah, it's just a glob monster. Probably somewhere in here. Alright, everyone make way for this stud. Hell yeah, Al Capone. I don't know how many of these are going to end up in the S tier, but I just don't see how you can make an argument against them. Like, if we're talking about drip, nobody's got him beat. The pinstripe suit, these long locks, plus he's a mobster. Unfortunately, infinitely cooler than I'll ever be. Alright, Boogity Bones. Let's see, 3 heads, better than 1. 3 ties, better than 1. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to meet the tailor who designed their shirt. I think I'll just leave him in B tier for now. If he walked more like a zombie or did something else cool in the episode, maybe I'd lift him up, but just kind of there. Alright, the Ice Demon from Snow Place Like Home. I definitely already said this before, but the less cool brother of the Cyber Chase virus. I do like the ice attacks though. It brought a real sense of danger to the episode. Let's see, Samurai Ghost, doesn't do too much for me. I mean, it's just a red demon that also happens to be a samurai. He does get a little bit of a bonus for escaping one of the chases though. So, we'll put him up there. Oh, now we've got the goat. Headless Skateboarder from Scooby-Doo. He probably deserves his own tier, honestly. Like, this is just the epitome of cool. Headless Horseman on a skateboard? Yeah, sure. But the underwater shark skateboard? Hell yeah. Honestly, I might be him for Halloween one of these years. I love this design so much. Real quick before we continue with the video, thank you very much to Surfshark for sponsoring. By now, I'm pretty sure we all know what Surfshark is. I mean, they're the best in the business for a reason. If somehow you haven't heard of Surfshark yet, it's an app and a browser extension that lets you act as if you're anywhere in the world, which allows me to watch my favorite shows that are otherwise blocked in the US. But that's not all, as it also encrypts all of your online data to keep your passwords, personal info, and files safe from the malicious threats out there, especially if you're someone who connects to random public Wi-Fis. You little risk taker, you. And they're even rolling out a new email scam checker, further helping us all stay safe from phishing scams to literally steal our identities. You can use Surfshark on unlimited devices. Phones, tablets, laptops, PCs, whatever it is, Surfshark's got you. I wouldn't be surprised if they could do a 3DS in the future too. And they even have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're in need of another layer of online safety, you can use my code DALTDEAL at checkout for an extra 4 months on your plan. Or click the link below in the description or in the pinned comment. That's surfshark.com/DALTDEAL. Thank you again to Surfshark. Now, let's continue the ranking. And then I think this is one of Red Herring's little pranks. It's fine. Looks like kale washed up on the beach. Alright, Boobeard is another interesting one. To me, he was always one of the more unsettling ones. He would just pop up out of nowhere. Plus, he flies and he has chains. So that ticks off pretty much every ghost box I could want. So I think A tier and just under Croaker for now. Okay, here we go. Say what you want about the ethics behind this. Totem Monster, one of the best designs. 3 heads that each speak. Then it just sprouts legs to chase the gang around. Plus, I love the design of all 3 of these faces, especially the top one. I just don't see how I could really put this any lower. Alright, then we've got our 2-for-1 special from RoboPub. Let's start with Chef Pierre Goulash. Honestly, one of the more fun catchphrases in this entire show. I mean, the ghost of a French chef saying, "Sacre bleu." I mean, who thinks of that? That's just perfect. He also gets captured in one of the more random ways in the series, then just sends RoboPup after him. He'll go and be... honestly, I don't really like RoboPup, but he's not the worst. Alright, of course, Shaggy's favorite, Stinkweed. Honestly, they did a great job depicting him. I can tell he fucking reeks. I feel like everyone knows at least one of these kind of guys. And I do like his general design too. He just looks like one big poisonous vine with thorns all over him. Alright, then we've got the dog catcher before he got into Stinkweed, and then after he got into Stinkweed. Before version, he's honestly just kind of a Looney Tunes guy. He's just a guy. But after, probably one of the better designs that they have here. I mean, you can't really go wrong with the skeleton design. He's like almost reaching that S tier, but I know I'm gonna have plenty more coming up there. So he'll ride an A for now. Alright, for the Commander Cool Alien, I do like that it's a Cyclops and the worms for tongue is pretty cool. But overall, nothing about it stands out too much for me. Alright, here's where we begin the run of S tiers that I was talking about earlier. Alright, first off, Ghost of Purvis Parker. If you close your eyes and just think, cool guy, this is basically what you get. I mean, he's a ghost, that's also a skeleton, that's also a rock star. Plus he's got the built-in shades. That's how you know you're cool. If I had to say one thing that I don't really like about him, it's probably the mouth. I don't really think it fits this whole setup here. But if that's the worst thing you could say, then perfectly fine. Alright, now Chickenstein. I mean, it's Frankenstein's monster in chicken form. What more could you possibly want from it? Realistically, that's the only one giving the headless skateboarder a run for their money. I think if only one of these villains was the mascot for the series, it probably would be Chickenstein. Either that or the Burger Monster. I don't know, I've always just really loved this design. I want to say that this was the first episode that I ever saw as a kid, or maybe it was just the one that stuck out the most. But I mean, come on. It's a hamburger with insect legs and some scary teeth. Alright, after that we've got I think it's the Dinkley 2000? I don't know, the demon computer from The Computer Walks Among Us. Now, when I was little, I had a recurring nightmare that was basically this, except it was one of those green trash cans. Like the outside trash cans. So I think I have to kind of give it some props for that alone. Plus it provides its own chase music, so that's pretty cool. And just looking at this right now, I can already tell I'm going to drop some, so we'll get there when we get there. Oh, then we have this diva. Gender bent Pablo Picasso, hell yeah. She just kind of looks like an Aardman character. That's probably the only thing saving her from this bottom tier. She's not even a villain, technically speaking. It was all just a big misunderstanding. These next 4, genuinely couldn't tell you where they're from. They might be from this episode where Scooby just kind of walks around town, but I'd be lying to you if I said I know 100%. This looks like a mole of sorts. F. Baldy here. F. Two-headed weredo. Pretty cool. And then orange mask guy. Not to be confused with orange femme guy. Well, C tier, sure. Alright, Zombo's probably one of the more terrifying ones in the series. I mean, it's terror, thy name is Zombo. But I've always thought that the way he just flies around and attacks everyone was a little unnerving. Like, his flight pattern's a little too smooth for me or something. Plus, it's a scary clown and we're at the circus. He's got home court advantage. Let's see, Boogie Biker, that we all know is Red Herring. I mean, he rides a chopper, that's kind of cool. Also, I don't think I've said this yet, but I love the skeletons in this art style specifically, pretty much just because of how bowed out the Radius and Ulna are. I'll probably move him up within the tier here in a second. Alright, faceless space cowboy. Eh. It's kind of like when somebody asks you what you want to be when you grow up and you're like, oh, space cowboy. And there you go. That's what you get. Okay, I do really like the horrible hairpiece. Like, design-wise, pretty bad, if we're honest. But just the concept of taking loose strands of hair and making a wig monster out of it, I just think that's genius. Quick question. So just take a look at him. How many how many legs do you count? Right. the less we talk about that one, probably the better. Let's go to the hooded heifer. Probably joins him up there in the A tier, actually. Such a fun design for a wrestling cow. Plus, I love how dedicated he is to staying in character as a cow. Alright, the moving mollusk. I mean, it is just a snail, but he also just carries around a hockey stick everywhere. And I feel like the chase scenes alone take at least half the episode. So the gang are always on the run here. I think I'll put him... Man, we're kind of getting a little cramped up here, but I'm gonna fix these in a second. All right, then we've got the Where Do, or is it Nasty Do or something stupid? It's just a demon hound. He's fine. Mrs. Shusham, she's just angry librarian character. I don't like that they keep flipping back and forth between Shusham and Shushman. Like, come on, get it together. Again, it's just some woman. Ooh, okay, now we've got Wario's evil brother, Waitrose. I guess I could have said Waluigi too. I feel like he's kind of tall, but doesn't matter. I do really like him. He's probably like the supervillain of the series. I mean, he hypnotizes people with the smell of good food. And then he also tries to drown Shaggy and Scooby. He's just like the stereotypical bad guy. Then this last one, I'm pretty sure that's just the monster from the intro song. No clue what that is. That like a kibble monster? F. Alright, let me fix some of these tiers. Stinkweed, I think I was too generous. I think he's skipping B altogether, he goes down to C. Ice Demon, I think I was also too nice to. Probably goes there. Let's move you up, you down. Boogie Biker probably moves up a lot. You move down. Okay, I think that's probably better. Okay, now we're done. Honestly, all of the ones from like here on down, pretty mid. But these top tier ones are enough to bring up the average to make this one of the best Scooby-Doo shows from the monster design standpoint. But what do you think? Who got robbed and who's way too high? Probably Stinkweed, actually. But thank you as always for watching, liking the video, and subscribing. Surprisingly, saying that actually does help the video. Shocker. Of course, thank you as always to my lovely patrons. If you want to help support me and get your name on here in the credits with the rest of them, you can use the link down below and join in on the fun. Or just join the free tier and spy on all of our conversations. That works too. Of course, thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring the video. Anyways, I'll see you for whatever the next video is. But until then, bye!